This elder, this leader, not only of the ganja movement, but also a leader in the Rastafari movement. Put your hands together for the Westmoreland Hemp and Ganja Farmers Association leader, the leader of the ganja, the leader of the rebel, the leader of the cause, Mr. MXIII. Come on! I want to hear a little louder, please. Little louder, please. This man from the struggle, and to see him in Kingston amongst all the leaders, about 2,000 people, and when he spoke, everyone get up and gave him a big round and loud applause. So I'm going to ask MXIII right now to just welcome you.
Here, give thanks. I want you to put your hands together for Cuba, you know? Because I said it at set away, and I'm saying it again. I, being the chairperson for the Westmoreland Hemp and Ganja Farmers Association, in the very establishment of the association wasn't even my idea. But over the years, starting from 1995, I was outside of Jamaica, and when I came back, I heard about MXIII. It was the MXIII, Malcolm Martin, Marley, Mandela. This man must have a vision to name this place MXIII. And so I came and looked for him, and I saw him on the beach, and I said, "You name Cuba?" He said, "Working together," and ever since we have been working together. So the idea of establishing a Westmoreland Hemp and Ganja Farmers Association was really Cuba's idea. But because I have an image out there, people have been on the forefront agitating for not just the decriminalization, but the legalization of ganja, because ganja is a plant. And in the first place, why should you make law against a plant? My research over the years bring me back to China, 2500 BC, in the Chinese pharmacopoeia. Also, I can put Chagnesi, a British doctor in 1896, went to India, saw documentation on marijuana that was more than 1,000 years old, and brought it back to Britain. It became a part of the European Medical Association. In 1942, in 1938, it was established because a pharmaceutical company was coming into America, and they, through the FBN, which is the Federal Bureau of Narcotics at the time, was used by the company to fight against ganja. And that is how the laws were established, serious laws were established in America, 1938 Marijuana Tax Act. In 1942, there was a commission called the LaGuardia Commission that was established in America. The investigation found that ganja, herb, marijuana, whatever they want to call it, has no detrimental effect mentally or physically on people. But nevertheless, the fight continued. Now, being the chairperson for the Westmoreland Hemp and Ganja Farmers Association, I am not only interested in ganja, but whatever is important that other people we can do to protect our environment.
Get the video
if
camera.
we don't have an environment,
get the video camera and take the thing off.
You all agree with me? More important than the food that we eat is the breath that we breathe. Because we breathe 24/7. Some of us only eat 3 meals or 4 meals for the day. But we breathe 24/7. In a polluted environment, naturally, sooner or later we're going to develop cancer, we're going to develop this, we're going to develop that. So I am aware of what is happening with the whole breakwater situation. And I'm saying that whatever part I can play, whatever contribution I can make, I've seen Mr. Issa, I've seen Mr. Grizzle on the television, I've seen Mary talking out. I think it's for us as a people to support a cause that we think is in the interest and benefit of Negril environment and hence broader Jamaica, broader Westmoreland and broader Jamaica. People come from all over the world and come to Negril. So today I'm giving my commitment, whatever it is that will be requested of I, whatever role I can play in helping to highlight the concern of the hoteliers and the average person on the street, or the average person that lives in Negril. I am prepared and willing to play my part. Give thanks.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Our leader, the fire starter. I have even mentioned I, but trust me, since he take up leadership, he did not look backward. He has just stayed forward and stay on track. Come on, once again, IRV. At this time, you need a team. And IRV introduced me to this young man and said, come on, this youth here, we have to have him on our team. And ever since I met this man, he has taken up his responsibility. Our secretary of the Westmoreland Hemp and Ganja Farmers Association, Mr. Tristan Thompson.
So, Westmoreland Hemp and Ganja Farmers Association is a product of Westmoreland. Likewise, Negril is of Westmoreland, and as such, they're both linked, they're both integrated, and it's something which we should work to build together. Hotelers, advocates for ganja business people, there is a connection between all of us, which is Westmoreland. The Breakwater, to be honest, I'm not 100% informed on the details, but I do know that it will impact business significantly. It will also impact the environment significantly. Now, working together, whatever it is that Westmoreland Hemp and Ganja Farmers Association can do, we tend to be loudmouths, but at the same time, we are very targeted in our speech, whatever noise that we're making, and we're effective. We get the message across. So we support the cause and the fight of the hoteliers here in Negril. Further, we also want to work with the hoteliers in Negril. We do not believe you should be supplied with marijuana by anybody outside of Westmoreland. We want to build a brand and build a brand together. We are interdependent. Thank you.
In charge of business, you heard him? Mr. Tristan Thompson. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Negril, it's not about JLP or PNP. I made sure make that point and make sure that it come across. When it comes to Negril, Negril comes first and every other thing comes after. At this present time, we find Negril under siege because what we found out is that Negril is a good name. You can use it to get funding from all different type of places as long as you have the right people to set up all of them plans. What I'm saying to you that it's not every gift that is given or every grant that is given is good. Sometimes what is given to you not necessarily is the best interest of you and of the community. And that is where we are at right now in Negril. I am proud to say that we find a common ground that the chamber and other businesses, hoteliers, can find where we, the grassroots, the local people, can come together under one umbrella to say, we are for the best interests of Negril And we feel, if the government does not see, we feel Negril is a gem, Negril is a diamond, Negril is a place that we won't take no type of chance with. Breakwater is something that we don't know much about, and it's not proven. And from my understanding, Breakwater is irreversible. I am saying not only to you, but to the government, especially to my MP, we put Negril first, and we are saying anyone, including our member of parliament and the government, that is for Breakwater, we are saying, we the community, we the business people, we the grassroots people, we the stakeholders say, we want Negril to remain in its most natural environment. And to that we say, no to Breakwater. I want to push it a little bit further to include our ecosystem. I am saying Negril is saturated. I am saying what Mr. Pickersgill just came down here and tell us that he wants to increase the building code where people can go 2 and 3 stories. I am also hearing that Grand Leader wants to go 10 stories. I am saying that when we have a volume of people here, especially during ATI, we don't have water, we can't even survive. So why do we want to increase? We are telling the government, no. And that is why we are here today. At this point, I would like to call a gentleman who have admired, a gentleman who have Negril best interests at heart. And I am proud to call him on stage inside MXIII right now, a former president of the Negril Chamber of Commerce. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Daniel Grizzle to the podium. I know you're old, you know, you can walk on if you know us.
Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, and fellow Negrillian and friends of Negril. You know, it's unfortunately that it only takes a disaster to put us all together, but nevertheless, we're here. We're here. There are 2 main topics tonight. One is the ganja, what's the title? The ganja, Westmoreland Hemp and Ganja farmers. And I'm going to just touch that briefly first, because this is very important. The Chamber has been pushing for the decriminalization of ganja must be some 15 years now.
Stop this.
Nobody
Stop
took
it.
us serious then.
Stop it.
And still, I'm not sure that the people in Westmoreland and in Jamaica as a whole fully understand exactly what that means for Negril, for the tourist industry. Because if we are to be truthful, the only people that was ever being prosecuted and locked up for ganja, it was the poor. And it used to exploit and harass the tourists when they're there. Because some, not all, some of the police officers find it as a useful tool to harass and extract money from the guests, which in turn give our industry a bad name. While ganja should be used as a plus for the industry, and it can be, because if we are frank, 95% of the people who comes here sometimes wants to and wish to experience ganja in Jamaica. I was told by somebody it's not the same to smoke the same ganja somewhere else. It's a different feeling having a little split right here and there. So why should we make a big effort to prosecute people for it? When in other parts in the United States, they're decriminalizing the use of it. So I think we all need to rally around this whole question and to speed up and to ensure that the local people are the ones who will benefit from the decriminalization of ganja. So I think your organization has a lot of work to do. How are you going to ensure that when it's decriminalized, you are the people who really gets the benefit? And I don't know the answer for that, but I think collectively, if everybody put their heads together, we can come up with a formula that will ensure you get the benefit of decriminalization of marijuana. And to make sure it's done in a way where everybody benefits, including the tourist industry and the tourists who come to visit us. So we have to be careful. Now, on the question of breakwater, this unfortunately has not really been explained to the public at large exactly what it is and what the consequences could have been or maybe to our industry. Some years ago, over 15 years ago, we recognized the problem of erosion. We then asked our immediate neighbor, because they had a similar problem, what to do and how to go about it. They came, they looked at our situation, they explained to us that it's pretty similar to their beach in Cuba, the Valdera Beach. They also pointed out to us what they did, and what they did was beach nourishment, basically blowing back the sands on the beach. Two years ago, this was done in the early 80s. 2 years ago, they did a little refurbishing. They didn't lose it all, but they need to put a little back down. Now the difference with Valdera Beach, they are exposed to higher waves, higher sea, because of the situation on the beach. It's on the north side, which is to the Atlantic. We are right back in the Caribbean. We have gentler waves. They have more hurricane than us, and yet it has helped them and protect their beach for a very long time. Their beach alone has seen 1 million visitors every year. Now, there is no reason why we cannot do the same with the same result. Our government decided they want to give us breakwater. Now, most countries in the world are going away from breakwater because it creates more damage than what it does. Why does our government is hell-bent at putting up a breakwater in which they are not even using proper technical and trained people to design it? It's been done by people who are not qualified. That's the first thing. Now we all see what happened during Ivan hurricane, the size stones that was lifted up out of the sea and put on the land. Now there were some stones that come up that were nearly the size of a small car. Now what is going to stop those stones that they're putting down out there from one day winding up on our beach? When they were asked who would take care of it if such a thing happens, they had no answer, saying that, oh, it doesn't come into the question. It does come in the question. We see what the sea can do. Another thing again, every country that has put it has seen erosion increase by not just in front of where the breakwater is, but just at the end, the properties that are not in front of the breakwater. You see an increase in erosion. I think there is a place in Maine where right now they have to move everybody out because they put a breakwater some years ago and they have lost acres and acres, miles and miles of their beach. So why are we doing it when the evidence is there that it doesn't work? They're doing it because it's convenient. if they should do beach nourishment, a ship would come in, within 6 weeks it would be complete, and that vessel would sail away with 95% of the money. If you do breakwater, you multiply 5 million by 115. It's a packet full of money. And therefore you can distribute that money to those who have connection. And they will pocket the money. We all remember a couple of years ago when they said we had to run with it. Is this another run with it program we're having? And after the end of that, what industry will we have? There is no sugar cane anymore in this area. The sugar industry is dead. We only have one industry in this part of Jamaica, and that one industry is tourism. We cannot afford to take chances with it, especially when all the evidence are there that breakwater will do more harm than damage. The West End, where a lot of small business are, is only just picking up. We just have our best here. We remember what the sewage did to the West End. Now, with all those trucks coming into Negril, what will happen to the West End? All the small business will perish, while the politicians and their friends will pocket their money, and they'll be off to I don't know where. For instance, one of the big things about coming to Negril is to go swimming, to go snorkeling, to go by the reef. With all that activities going on, you won't be able to go swimming. The water will be cloudy and muddy and turbulent all over. The stones, the vessels, you will just wreck. And if there is no sea, if there is no activity, why would anybody come to Negril? It's going to affect each and every one of us. Whether you are directly involved in tourism, or you are a farmer in the hills, or a tradesman, we cannot afford to have our industry. And if we unite together, we can do it. And we have to stop thinking about the them and the us. It's only one thing we have in Negril. You have Negrilians. You have people who live, work, and love Negril. And therefore, we must protect it. Thank you all very much.
Mr. Grissom, a gentleman who has basically done a great deal of hard work, dedication to the betterment of Negril over the years. Negril is it's more than just a tourism place, you know. Negril is our community, Negril is ours, you know what I mean? And even though we the community people don't see much, we still have to hold on to what we have. Whatever little that we have to cherish it. And that is why we say, even the environment, we have to make sure we take care of it. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I would like to call a very prominent hotelier to the podium, Mr. Lee Issa. My pleasure to bring you on stage now, sir. And like I said, I know you're an old man. If you want to take this step, you can take it. You don't try like Mr. Grizzly. All right.
Don't know what you got till it's gone. They paved paradise and put up a parking. That is what they want to do with Negril by increasing the heights of the building. It used to be 2 stories in the early days, where they used to say you couldn't build taller than the tallest folk in the street, and that was 2 stories. Then they stretched it to 3. Now, because of the pressure of investors who are trying to maximize the density on their properties, they want to now go to 4 floors and possibly 5 floors. and possibly 6 floors in the not too distant future. They also want to change the setback. The setback is now 150 feet from the high water mark. They want to reduce it to 100 feet. This is going to contribute to more beach erosion. Right now, our water supply and our sewage system is stressed. If you go from 3 floors to 4 floors, that is a 33.33% increase in the density. Can you imagine what it's going to do to our very fragile ecosystem? So basically, I wrote a letter, an open letter to the minister who came down here a couple of weeks ago and said that this is what he wants to do. But after digesting the situation, I wrote him an open letter and I said that I think I speak for a lot of the citizens of the community, that we disagree with the proposal to increase the density and to reduce the setback. What we should be doing is we should be fixing the environmental ills of the past and not to exacerbate the situation by building more rooms than what is permitted now and add more pressure on the ecosystem. We are not against development. We want development, but we want sustainable development, and this is the development that is in the present ordinance, which the government wants to change to satisfy some greedy developers who want to maximize their return to the extent that it is going to harm the environment. So basically that is where we are now, and we're waiting to find out if this is going to be signed into law. The minister has the right to do that, and that is the Minister of Water and the Environment. And we must continue as a community to let our voices be heard, that this is going to be detrimental to the environment and in the long run is going to hurt Negril. Negril is a low-density, low-rise resort destination. We don't want a Cancun type of destination because there are too many of those around the world. We want to sustain Negril for what it is. And this is why people come to Negril, because of the low density and the low rise character of the place. So my friends, let your voice be heard in your communities and tell your representatives in the government that we want to keep Negril growing, yes, but growing along the building ordinance that was set 40 years ago. It has worked well with us for the past 40 years. I don't see why it can't work for us for the next 40 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Issa. And I totally agree. It has worked for us in the past. I don't see why it still can't work for us. And let me tell you something about Negril, especially when it has to do with the sea and the sun. If you know about Negril right now, the sea is cleaning itself. What it does, after it's finished, you're going to see the seaweed coming up. And after a while, give it maybe a week or maybe 2 weeks, it comes back and then it takes it and then replenishes it itself. What we are saying with Negril, we don't want to work against the natural environment. We want to work with nature. It is the best thing that we can do, and we feel that putting breakwater, putting boulders in our water is not working with nature, but basically working against.
Here, here.
At this time, she wasn't slated to speak, but I get to be very fond of this lady because of what she represents. And anyone, because we have to understand something. When it comes to Negril, we have to put everything aside and put Negril first. And I would like to call Miss Mary Vera on the stage right now just to say hello. Yes, you... Before I even know this lady, I was reading her comments in the paper, and I'm telling you, anyone that defends Negril like this, I will defend her. Miss Mary Vera.
Thank you very much. I'm not going to go on too much about Breakwater, the new development order, all the different things. I'm just going to tell everybody that we were advised by the fund, the adaptation fund, who gave the government this grant to do the breakwaters, that we need to write a letter to the public defender. We have the letter here today and we need signatures on it. So Sophie and I will be over at the table if everybody would like to come and sign it. They have told us that the PIOJ has assured them that the project will not start next month, as it should be done, as they said. So we've put a hold on it, but we do need to keep up our protest and say no to this. We don't want to destroy this place that we all love. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mary Vera. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Negril, this is our community, and we are hoping that we can have meetings like this, not really meeting, but gathering like this, where we basically come together and put out our views and what we think and how we think Negril should be. At this time, he wasn't slated to speak, but he also plays a very important part in Negril. He now takes the responsibility of being the chairman of the Negril Enhancement Foundation. Mr. Delroy Johnson, I'm asking you, sir, to please take the podium and address our community and the people of Negril. Put your hands together, Mr. Johnson. My yard, your yard, my yard, everybody's yard. Best festival, best egg sandwich. Best egg sandwich. Yes. What we're doing, we're putting our community together. Everyone has a role to play, and as long as we play our role, we will have a positive future.
Yes, thank you, Koba. Well, after Mr. Grizzle, Mr. Lee Issa, Vera, all of these great speakers who are very versed on the environment, and they have spoken already. It's hard to find anything else to say. More than I can say that we have seen some improvement on the West End as far as business is concerned this year, with tourists moving along on the strip. Because when I started over 20 years ago, I hired people put on the strip to bring people in, because people were walking about. Today, for many years that has stopped, and we see that happening again. One of the things that has stopped it over the year was the sewage system that was implemented some years ago. Businesses slowed down significantly. Many people didn't want to come to the West End because of that, because they couldn't move. If we start to load truck right at Lindsay Corner there, we are going to hurt the West End big time again. That is going to create a big bottleneck right there. They say the project's supposed to take 6 months, but we know how projects operate in Jamaica. It may be 6 years. And we are saying that the boulders, I've seen what the boulders have done, and the Deep West, I've seen what it has done on the close West End here. It's a dangerous thing. It can be boom right on your porch or in your backyard or in your front yard. The sea is something that we don't have much control of. All we can do about the sea is respect it. We can behave in a certain way that we don't affect the actions of nature. And that's what we need to do to preserve our beautiful Negril and what we have here. In regards to the building, one of the original reasons why we had this building for the Negril still remain. We are a coastline town, and any major movement, we are also hurricane era, any major movement will cause a great catastrophe if we have all these huge high-rise buildings. That's why we are encouraged to plant trees. We are encouraged to maintain our trees and our properties so that it can help to maintain the environment. So I am 100% for the non-setting up of this breakwater thing. I know it will affect our business big time. Thank you, Kuba. I can't find much to say again after all these great speakers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnson. And I read an article about the breakwater. I think it was in 2004. This place in India, I think it's Nathawana Beach or something like that, was in 2004 was rated the #1 beach in the world. And I'm not sure exactly what caused, but erosion started and they implemented the breakwater. You should see the destruction basically of that place right now. I am saying to you, we don't think we can take a chance with Negril. We don't feel that we can do anything, especially the people who are supposed to be the one protecting us, the one who will be in charge. My meds, if NEPA, NWA, and all those people can't even take care of land, can't even take care of road, I will not put them to take care of the sea. Is there anyone who would like to make, if you're going to make a comment, please make it be short. Mr. Fitzdavis, I see you, sir. Could you step? I want the people of Negril to talk. Mr. Davis, please, sir, just to say one word. I want the people of Negril to speak. Negril people, this is our opportunity. We need now, not just to just say, but we need action. We need to start signing all those petitions. We need to let the government understand that we will not let Negril be disturbed just because of whatever financial gain that they can benefit.
Well, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Those who are here early, those who just came in. As I'm probably about a 20-year resident of this beautiful place. I was coming here from in the 70s when I was a youngster. Told my friends, a group of us who came in the 70s, said that we'll make our homes here. I'm probably only one, the rest have migrated. But since being here, Daniel and I know very well, I worked in the hotel industry when I just got here. It was an opportunity, a great opportunity for me. I've made Negril my home, and the plans, what I'm seeing now, I don't think is development. I've been fortunate to stand here to say that I've traveled a lot of places, been to Verdere Beach that Daniel spoke about, been to all the Caribbean islands, and there's none of those islands that has development, that has calls for these 4- and 5-story buildings rather. But when you can have investors coming in and sticking up your government to say, if I don't get what I want, then I'll not invest. It can't be good for the country, and will never be good for the country. I've never heard one of those investors come here and say, I want to invest, and the government say to them, all right, build me a type 2 health center, build me a school to educate my kids. But they ask for a lot of things and it is granted to them. I, for one, will be signing the petition because I don't think it is development, especially for Negril, not the kind of coastline that we have. And to asking for the high water mark to be moved from 150 to 100 feet to facilitate some people who their building order was stopped can't be right. So I'm not for it. That's all I have to say.
Well said, Mr. Davis. What we're asking now, anyone who has something to say on that behalf, just keep it very simple, sir. State your name and.
My name is Dad Faruka. Good evening, everyone. I don't know much about the breakwater thing, but from what I've heard, I reckon that it's serious. just a solution. I look around us and I haven't seen much young people. But I think in order for us to make this be effective, we need to educate our young people to get this, for this to happen. Alright? We need to get them involved. We need to teach them, we need to let them know the seriousness of this. We need to find a way to get our young people involved. And this is the only way we will be able to overcome this. Alright?
Thank you very much, sir. The gentleman says sensitize the youths, let them understand, so that we can have a better future. Sir, like I said, this is MXIII, the militant song, but also with the positive vibration, and that's how we're moving forward. State your name and address.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Headstone Thompson. I'm from the Little London community. I used to work with the first hotel that was in Negril, that is Sundown in 1969. I worked here for a while. Once I was living up by where the Jameses is, because that is where my room was. I walked up to the Sundown, I worked in the morning and walked back down. I was here once when I saw a very terrible sea movements. Water hit the road, come right across the road. And I observed some things. I could see the seaweed coming up on the beach this morning. And a couple days after, I don't see any. And nobody was working there to clean it. So the environment cleaned itself. Why should we have a stupid situation where man put in something that it's not good? It's not good for us. Peter Touch sing a song and said, let us clean up Jack creation, not to destroy it. Thank you very much, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, this man, he mentioned Sundown, and that's what I think the first hotel in Negril. He works here. Could you please give him a big round of applause and respect manners. Thank you. Barry, you've been here. Set your foundation here as well. I think you should have a voice.
Thank you. I'm Barry Howell. I publish in the Negril Travel Guide. I've been blessed. I've lived here in Negril for 14 years. Excuse me. And in honesty, it's the beach that brought me here. I lived on a 6-mile sandy beach on the coast of Maine with a house probably 30 feet from the high water mark for 28.5 years. At one side of our 6-mile sandy beach in Saco Bay, they built a breakwater many, many years ago to save the river so there could be navigation into the town of Saco. But ever since they built that breakwater, the town of Camp Ellis has lost streets, has lost houses. They put major boulders in front of it. They've gone out with many barges of sand to put sand out into the ocean to try and bring the sand back into the beach. And there's been nothing but a major problem. And they've looked for issues for years to try and figure out a way to correct that. Why am I acting on this? Number one, I like Negril. This is home. And number two, I've got 28.5 years experience in living in a breakwater. And the houses close to that breakwater. The breakwater might protect a certain area, but what about the places different from the 1.5 miles? What about the wave action that happens when the water comes around the breakwater and hits the other locations? That's the locations that end up losing the sand. That's the locations that end up having the beach erosion. We don't need a breakwater like that. We need sand nourishment. We need a sand engine. We need something that's going to replenish this beach, excuse me, not just for the day, but for years to come. And the breakwater doesn't do it. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. Is there anyone who, I see Miss Jane Issa inside here. I noticed you wrote a very interesting article in the paper. I really appreciate that article. It not just speak for yourself, but it also speak for the entire community. Could you please just take the podium for 1 minute, please? I appreciate it. This is the opportunity that each of us have. Just clear it out. Whatever you have inside and what you feel, just put it out there. This is the opportunity. Just tell them how you feel.
Hello. I just feel that, it's not an aesthetic thing to do, first of all. I think it's going to be very ugly. And I think it's going to create bad swimming quality. It's going to create algae. Because the sea is calm already. It's not a very rough sea. They're going to make it even calmer. And that's going to create more algae. And that's going to suffocate the reef. And the swimming quality will be affected too. It's just all bad. There's not one good thing about it. Not one good thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Issa. I see you do much better writing than speaking. Is there anyone else who would like to say? Come here. Yes, one second. Yes. I hope she's not the same, because she's been writing some great articles. I hope she's also a very good speaker, This lady has been doing great for her. Please put your hands together for her.
Yeah. Good evening, I'm Sophie. One of the things I wanted to remind everybody about is this breakwater is proposed for the northern section of the beach. Now, anybody who's lived in Negril long enough knows that the erosion is on the southern section. Now, who has business on the southern section? Any big hotels on the southern section of Negril Beach? No. Who owns the properties on the southern section of the Negril Beach? All the small Jamaican hoteliers, little restaurants, bars, massage parlors, you name it, the majority of them are owned by Jamaicans. Who owns the properties on the northern section of Negril Beach? Not many Jamaicans, I'm afraid. So you have to ask yourself a question. I'm not telling you the answer, you have to ask yourself your question. Why is the breakwater being built on the northern section when the southern section, Minister McNeil stood up in a meeting and told us that erosion is on the southern section of Negril Beach? So I think we have to realize that Negril has a lot of economic benefit to foreign investors. And if we as Jamaicans with small properties don't band together and save what we have, with the rising land taxes and all the other issues, we will soon be booted out and we'll have a Cancun on Negril Beach in 20 years from now. So we have to stand together and we have to make sure that Negril develops in a way that is beneficial to everybody, whether you're a foreigner or a local. It must be beneficial for everybody in Negril and not a few. So please just remember that. Thank you.
Don't let her simply look through the ladies and gentlemen. That lady is a fire starter, trust me, firebrand. Sophie Grizzly. Is there any...
Yep.
Yes, sir?
Yeah, I'd like to get up. Hi, folks. My name is Bob Reed, and I'm getting up here because I'm wearing 3 different hats that most people don't wear in this group right here. For 36 years, I've been a visitor here since '79, and I've come back every year. For 27 years, I owned a house up on Westmoreland Mountain, so I'm also as a resident almost. And for 17 years, my wife and I have run one-stop vacations in the NegrilOneStop.com, and we love Negril. Anything that's going to erode that, this beach, this lovely beach and this environment, is not in our favor. We absolutely don't want it, and I hope that whatever we're doing here, whatever happens with Cuba and all the other group, that we can pull this together and stop this from happening and keep everything natural. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Let me say this. When we take up the ganja fight, we take up the ganja fight because we believe in the ganja fight. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now taken up the Negril fight because we believe that is the right thing to do, to protect Negril. This is just a start, because everything has to start somewhere. Our next meeting, we're going to have, at least this is where I am going. We want to have Negril, we want to have Jamaica, we want to have everyone here with us. And I'm saying, whether it's Mellow FM, Irie FM, Barry G, or Mocha Baruka, but what we're going to be doing, we just light the fire today, and we're going to let it burn until whoever that need to understand that Negril will not just take what they give us, but Negril will only take what is best for us. I just want to thank each and everyone for coming out. We'll keep you informed. Like I said, this is only the start. We don't plan to just stop here. We're going to start and we're going to get bigger. We're going to meet each month. Our next meeting will not be just like this, but I want you to inform, educate, so that we all can speak as one voice. Our next meeting, I have some great people in our back office support with Mayor Vera and also Sophie and the rest. We will get it together until they do understand that Negril will not just take what they give us, but what is best for us. Thanks to each and everyone. Hold on a second. I cannot stop if this man stopped me to say something. He is the first lifeguard, the first water sports. Honeybee, come on stage, please. People, yeah, a foundation. When it's a foundation, we talk about foundation. And him start the water sport, honey water sport, the first in Negril. Love you, my brother.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to see everyone here. We wish there were more people here also. Just want to add to what I've been said already from Mr. Grizzle and all the rest of folks, Mr. Issa, who knows Negril. And I've been there from ever since and seen how the changes. And the folks that are coming in, that just coming in for money and not in for our environment to break it down, they don't see what is happening to the beach. They only want to do what they want. Well, we can say what is happening to the beach. Because when that sea they get rough, it can break up anything. We see the sea get rough and they bring things in on the beach, and after a while they come back and they take it back. Because it comes in and it takes up, and they go back and manure the ocean and the fish have it to eat. When they come and build the hotel on the beach, and the sea get rough and bring the grass in, they don't want the grass in. Mr. Grace never bring a truck out on the beach and a bulldozer. I've never seen Mr. Issa either. I don't know if you have, but I'm sure I've never seen him bringing that on the beach. So these folks bring bulldozer on the beach, taking up all the grass, which also included the sand, take them and dump them, send them wherever. When the sea come back to take back all the grass, it comes back and there is nothing for it to take. And everybody wants to build right into the ocean. And then they keep digging up the sand, and when the sea comes, there's nothing for it to take back, then the whole place. So that is what is causing all the erosion, and still they want to build in the ocean. So that is only destroying Negril for their riches. I hope we all stand up for it, that no breakwater.
Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, you see this man here? Whenever there's a crisis, Whenever there's a rough sea and somebody's out there and can't come in, you know who they call for? They have to call for who know what is going on, how to deal with weather like that. That's why they said for Honey. Thank you, Honey, for the work you have done over the years and the lives you have saved for the people. Thank you. At this time, if there's no one else to say anything, we're just going to be... I also want to thank Jesse. DJ Jesse is a part of the Ganja Farmers Association each year, each day. Anytime we call on him, he has been there, right, Aya? So just put your hands together for DJ Jesse. And once again, people, let me tell you this. In order for this community to work, we have to use the key element, and it's called communication. Let's find a way for all of us to understand how we can work with each other for a better Negril. Thank you.
Get up, stand up for